hard problem of consciousness, as it is often referred to, is a fascinating and perplexing topic that has puzzled philosophers, scientists, and thinkers for centuries. At its core, this problem grapples with understanding why and how physical processes in the brain give rise to subjective experiences, or qualia, which are the personal, internal experiences that shape our perception of the world. For instance, when you see a vibrant red apple, the physical process of light hitting your retina and the subsequent neural activity in your brain is well understood. But what remains elusive is why that process feels like something, why it evokes a certain feeling or experience that can't be fully explained by the mechanics of neurons firing or chemical interactions. This distinction between the easy problems of consciousness, which involve explaining brain functions and behaviors, and the hard problem, which concerns the nature of subjective experience, highlights a significant gap in our understanding of consciousness. Philosopher David Chalmers, who coined the term, argues that while we can study the neural correlates of consciousness, such as brain activity associated with different states of awareness, the essence of what it feels like to be conscious is an entirely different matter. This leads to intriguing questions about the nature of reality itself, as some theorists propose that consciousness might be a fundamental aspect of the universe, akin to space and time. This view, sometimes referred to as panpsychism, suggests that consciousness could be a property of all matter, not just biological entities, leading to a radical rethinking of how we understand the mind-body relationship. Moreover, the hard problem has implications for artificial intelligence and the development of machines that can simulate human-like thought processes. If we create a machine that can perform tasks and respond to stimuli in a way that appears conscious, does that mean it truly experiences consciousness, or is it merely mimicking behaviors without any genuine subjective experience? This question raises ethical considerations about the rights of potentially conscious beings, whether biological or artificial, and challenges our definitions of sentience and personhood. The ongoing debate also touches on neuroscience, as researchers seek to pinpoint the brain areas involved in conscious experience. While studies have identified regions linked to awareness, like the prefrontal cortex and the thalamus, a complete understanding of how these areas interact to produce conscious experience remains elusive. This mystery encourages interdisciplinary collaboration, drawing insights from psychology, cognitive science, and even quantum physics, as some theorists suggest that quantum processes might play a role in consciousness. Panpsychism is a fascinating philosophical theory that suggests that consciousness, or at least some form of mental experience, is a fundamental and universal feature of the universe. Imagine, if you will, that every aspect of the world, from the smallest particles to the largest celestial bodies, possesses some degree of consciousness or experience. This idea challenges our traditional views of consciousness, which typically center around human beings and perhaps some animals, leaving little room for inanimate objects or even plants. The roots of panpsychism can be traced back to ancient philosophies, where thinkers like Plato and Aristotle contemplated the nature of the mind and its connection to the physical world. But it has seen a resurgence in modern philosophy and science, particularly in discussions about the nature of consciousness and its origins. One of the most intriguing aspects of panpsychism is its implications for understanding consciousness itself. If everything has some form of experience, then the question arises, what does it mean to be conscious? Is consciousness a complex phenomenon that emerges only in advanced biological systems? Or is it a more basic quality that exists in simpler forms, even in non-living things? This perspective prompts a re-evaluation of how we view the relationships between mind and matter, potentially bridging gaps between science and spirituality, as it suggests a more interconnected view of existence. Furthermore, panpsychism offers a potential solution to what is often called the hard problem of consciousness, which involves explaining how and why we have subjective experiences. By positing that consciousness is not exclusive to humans or animals, but rather a fundamental aspect of all matter. Panpsychists argue that our understanding of consciousness could expand significantly. This would mean that the experience of an electron, for instance, is as real, albeit vastly different, as the experience of a human being. This radical notion invites both philosophical debate and scientific inquiry, as researchers explore the implications of this theory on fields like physics, neuroscience, and even ethics. In recent years, prominent philosophers and scientists have openly discussed panpsychism, with some arguing that it may provide a more coherent framework for understanding the universe than traditional materialist perspectives. For example, physicist Sean Carroll and philosopher Philip Goff have both contributed to the conversation, exploring how this theory could align with our current scientific understanding of the cosmos. They suggest that if consciousness is indeed a fundamental property of matter, it could transform the way we think about everything, from the nature of reality to our place within it. The practical implications of panpsychism extend to how we approach integrated information theory, often abbreviated as IIT. Is a fascinating and complex framework aimed at understanding consciousness, a topic that has puzzled philosophers and scientists for centuries. In simpler terms, it suggests that the more interconnected and unified the information within a system, like the human brain, the greater its conscious experience. This has led to the idea that consciousness is not just about having information, but about how that information is processed and integrated together. One of the key components of integrated information theory is the concept of phi, a measure of the degree of integration of information. Phi quantifies how much information is generated by the system as a whole, beyond the sum of its individual parts. For example, if we think about a simple system made up of two parts that do not communicate with each other, the information generated would be minimal. However, if those parts interact and share information effectively, the overall system can produce a higher level of phi, indicating a richer, more complex experience of consciousness. This measurement has significant implications, as it suggests that various forms of life, from simple organisms to humans, may experience consciousness in different ways, depending on their brain's ability to integrate information. IIT also raises intriguing questions about the nature of consciousness in artificial systems. Could a sophisticated artificial intelligence, capable of processing and integrating vast amounts of information, achieve a form of consciousness? This question challenges our understanding of what it means to be conscious, and whether consciousness is an exclusive trait of biological entities. Some researchers are exploring this idea by developing systems that could potentially exhibit high levels of integrated information, evaluating whether they might possess any form of subjective experience. Moreover, integrated information theory has been applied in various fields including neuroscience and philosophy, leading to discussions about the ethical implications of consciousness. If we were to discover that certain animals or even artificial entities experience consciousness, it could profoundly affect how we treat these beings. This theory not only helps us explore the depths of human consciousness, but also broadens our understanding of consciousness across different species and systems. Additionally, IIT has been compared to other theories of consciousness, including global workspace theory and higher order theories, each offering unique perspectives on how consciousness arises. While global workspace theory focuses on the idea of a central workspace where information is broadcasted to various cognitive processes, IIT emphasizes the integration aspect. The global workspace theory, often referred to as GWT, is a fascinating concept in cognitive science and psychology, proposing a model for understanding how consciousness works in the human brain. At its core, this theory suggests that our conscious experiences are akin to a stage performance, where only certain information, the highlights, is brought to the forefront for us to be aware of, while the rest remains in the background, much like actors waiting in the wings. This theory was developed by psychologist Bernard Baars in the 1980s, building on earlier ideas about the mind and consciousness. According to GWT, the brain operates like a large network of processors, where information is processed in parallel, but only a small subset of this information is broadcast to a global workspace, making it accessible for various cognitive functions such as decision-making, memory, and voluntary action. In practical terms, when you focus on a task, like reading a book or listening to music, only certain pieces of information become conscious, while other stimuli, like background noise or your own thoughts, recede into the background. This selective attention allows us to manage the overwhelming amount of information we encounter daily. The global workspace theory has implications not only for our understanding of consciousness, but also for areas like artificial intelligence, where researchers try to replicate how humans process and prioritize information. For instance, when developing AI systems, understanding how the brain filters and prioritizes information can help create more efficient algorithms that mimic human-like awareness. One interesting aspect of GWT is its relationship with working memory, which is the system responsible for temporarily holding and manipulating information. The theory suggests that the content of our global workspace is closely tied to what we hold in working memory. For example, when solving a complex problem, the information we are consciously aware of, like numbers or concepts, is what we are actively manipulating in our working memory, while other unrelated information fades away. This interplay between the global workspace and working memory emphasizes how selective our conscious awareness can be, as it allows us to focus on what is most relevant to us at any given moment. Moreover, the global workspace theory also addresses the phenomenon of unconscious processing. Much of what happens in our brains occurs without our conscious awareness. For example, when you learn to ride a bike, initially it requires a lot of conscious effort and attention. However, over time, the skills become automatic and you can ride without actively thinking about it. This suggests that information can be processed and learned unconsciously. The simulation hypothesis is a fascinating concept that has gained attention in both philosophical and scientific circles, suggesting that our reality might be an artificial simulation, perhaps a computer-generated environment, rather than the true original reality. This idea has roots in philosophical discussions dating back to the ancient Greeks, but it has been revitalized in modern times, particularly through the work of philosopher Nick Bostrom, who proposed a trilemma in his 2003 paper, arguing that at least one of the following statements must be true. Civilizations at our level of technological development go extinct before becoming capable of creating realistic simulation. Civilizations that reach this level of technology choose not to create such simulations, or we are almost certainly living in a simulation. One of the most intriguing aspects of the simulation hypothesis is how it intersects with advancements in technology. As our computational power increases, creating highly realistic virtual environments becomes more feasible. Video games and virtual reality experiences already blur the lines between the digital and physical worlds, leading some to wonder how far this technology could be developed. If we can create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality, it raises questions about our own existence. Are we in fact the inhabitants of an advanced civilization simulation, one that could be studying us, or even entertaining themselves with our lives as if they were characters in a game? There are also philosophical implications tied to the simulation hypothesis, particularly regarding consciousness and identity. If we are living in a simulation, what does that mean for our understanding of self and reality? Are our thoughts, feelings, and experiences authentic, or merely programmed responses? This leads to questions about free will, determinism, and the nature of existence itself. The implications stretch into ethics and morality as well, as the creators of a simulation might have different responsibilities towards their simulated beings compared to how we treat each other in our perceived reality. Interestingly, the idea of living in a simulation is not just confined to philosophy. It has made its way into popular culture, appearing in movies like The Matrix, where characters discover that their world is a simulated reality. This portrayal has sparked discussions about the nature of perception and reality, prompting people to consider the possibility that what we perceive as real could, in fact, be an elaborate illusion. Furthermore, some scientists, including prominent physicists, have entertained the idea, suggesting that certain aspects of our universe, like the quantization of space and time, could hint at a programmed reality. Moreover, the simulation emergentism is a fascinating concept that explores how complex systems and patterns arise out of relatively simple rules or interactions, and it can be found in various fields including philosophy, biology, physics, and even social sciences. At its core, emergentism suggests that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, meaning that when individual elements come together, they can create new properties, behaviors, or phenomena that cannot be predicted by simply examining the individual components. For instance, in biology, the behavior of a flock of birds, which may seem chaotic at first glance, emerges from individual birds following simple rules like aligning with neighbors, maintaining distance, and moving toward the average position of the group. This emergent behavior results in complex formations and coordinated movements that are remarkable to observe, illustrating how simple rules can lead to intricate and dynamic group behavior. In the realm of physics, emergent phenomena can be seen in various states of matter, such as the way water behaves differently when it transitions from ice to liquid to steam, despite being made of the same molecules. Each state exhibits unique properties, showcasing how changes in temperature and pressure can lead to new emergent characteristics, like the fluidity of water compared to the rigidity of ice. The concept of emergentism extends to consciousness as well, with some theories proposing that human awareness and thought arise from the complex interactions of neurons in the brain. Here, individual neurons, following basic electrical and chemical rules, create a rich tapestry of thoughts, emotions, and self-awareness, which cannot be fully understood by merely studying the neurons in isolation. Emergentism also plays a role in social sciences, where it can explain how societies develop their own cultures, norms, and behaviors through the interactions of individuals. Social behaviors like the formation of groups, the development of languages, or even the evolution of economic systems can all be seen as emergent phenomena, where the collective behavior of individuals leads to new social structures that are not necessarily predictable from the actions of single individuals. In economics, for example, market trends and consumer behavior can emerge from countless decisions made by individuals, each influenced by their own preferences and circumstances, leading to complex economic patterns that can be analyzed but not entirely predicted. The implications of emergentism are profound, as they challenge traditional reductionist views that seek to understand systems by breaking them down into their smallest components. Instead, emergentism invites us to consider the interactions and relationships between parts, emphasizing the importance of context and complexity. This, the binding problem, refers to a fascinating question in neuroscience and psychology, specifically concerning how our brains combine various features of objects, such as color, shape, and location, into a single unified perception. Imagine looking at a red apple. You are not just seeing a color or a round shape, or the fact that it's on a table, but rather all these features come together to form the complete experience of the apple. This process, however, is not straightforward, and it raises intriguing questions about how the brain achieves this remarkable feat. One theory suggests that different parts of the brain process distinct features of an object, with specialized areas responsible for color perception, motion detection, and spatial awareness, among others. But how does the brain then connect these pieces of information? This is where the binding problem comes into play, highlighting the challenge of explaining how these separate pieces are integrated into one coherent perception. Researchers have proposed various mechanisms, one of which involves neural synchrony, where neurons that represent different features of an object fire in sync, creating a kind of teamwork among brain cells. This synchronization might serve as a signal to the brain that these features belong together, thus allowing us to perceive a single object instead of disjointed sensory information. Other theories focus on attention, suggesting that when we pay attention to an object, our brain becomes more efficient at binding the features associated with that object. Interestingly, the binding problem also extends to our understanding of consciousness. It raises questions about how we become aware of objects as integrated wholes rather than as isolated features. This aspect of the problem has led to discussions about the nature of perception itself and how our experiences are constructed. Some experiments have shown that when attention is diverted, people may misperceive objects, indicating that binding may rely heavily on the focus of our conscious awareness. Moreover, the binding problem has practical implications, particularly in the context of visual disorders. Conditions such as visual agnosia, where individuals cannot recognize objects despite having intact vision, provide insight into how binding may fail in the brain. In these cases, people may see all the features, but cannot connect them to recognize the object as a whole. This highlights how crucial the binding process is for our daily interactions with the world around us. Scientists continue to explore this complex issue, utilizing advanced imaging techniques like fMRI and EEG to observe brain activity in real time, while participants engage in tasks that require binding of features. Such studies aim. Quantum consciousness is a fascinating concept that tries to bridge the worlds of quantum physics and the nature of consciousness, suggesting that our awareness and cognitive processes may have links to quantum phenomena. Some scientists and philosophers propose that consciousness could arise from quantum processes in the brain, rather than just classical neural activity. This idea stems from the observation that quantum mechanics operate at incredibly small scales, where particles behave in strange and counterintuitive ways, such as being in multiple states at once, a phenomenon known as superposition. When we consider consciousness, it raises intriguing questions about how our minds might operate in ways that are not fully explained by traditional neuroscience. One of the key figures in this field is physicist Roger Penrose, who argues that consciousness is not just a computational process, but rather, it involves quantum effects that occur within the microtubules of neurons. Penrose's theory suggests that these structures could support quantum states, leading to moments of conscious awareness. This idea is further explored by Stuart Hameroff, who collaborates with Penrose, proposing a model where consciousness is a result of orchestrated objective reduction of quantum states, a process that would occur in these microscopic structures. The implications of quantum consciousness are profound, as they challenge our understanding of what it means to be aware. If consciousness arises from quantum processes, it could suggest that our thoughts and perceptions are not just the result of biological functions, but also influenced by the fundamental laws of physics. This leads to A broader inquiry into the nature of reality itself, as various interpretations of quantum mechanics, such as the many worlds interpretation, open up possibilities for parallel realities or alternative outcomes based on our conscious choices. Moreover, the idea of quantum consciousness also intersects with discussions about the nature of free will, as it implies that our decisions may not be entirely deterministic, but rather influenced by probabilistic quantum events. This creates a rich ground for philosophical debate, as it challenges long-held beliefs about autonomy and the predictability of human behavior. Additionally, the exploration of quantum consciousness raises questions about the connections between mind and matter, and whether consciousness extends beyond the brain, perhaps even hinting at a universal consciousness that connects all living beings. This intriguing area of study is still very much in its infancy, with ongoing research trying to uncover potential experimental evidence that could support or refute these theories. Neurologists and physicists are working together exploring whether there are measurable quantum effects in the brain that correlate with conscious experience. While some researchers remain skeptical, the debate between dualism and physicalism is a fascinating topic that dives deep into the nature of reality and the relationship between the mind and body. Dualism is the view that the mind and body are fundamentally different kinds of substances, meaning that mental phenomena are non-physical, while physicalism argues that everything that exists, including mental states, is ultimately physical in nature. This philosophical discussion has roots that stretch back to ancient thinkers like Plato and Aristotle, but it was René Descartes in the 17th century who famously articulated a clear version of dualism, asserting that the mind is a non-material entity that interacts with the body. This idea raises many intriguing questions about how something non-physical can influence something physical, leading to the well-known mind-body problem. On the other hand, physicalism, which is often associated with contemporary philosophy and science, posits that all mental states and processes correspond to physical states in the brain. Advocates of physicalism argue that as our understanding of neuroscience advances, we can explain consciousness and mental experiences in entirely physical terms, suggesting that thoughts, emotions, and sensations can all be mapped to brain activity. This perspective often appeals to those who favor a scientific approach to understanding human experience, as it aligns with the idea that everything we experience can ultimately be traced back to physical processes, like neurons firing and chemical reactions occurring in our brains. The dialogue between these two positions is further complicated by concepts like emergent properties, where complex systems display behaviors that are not evident in their individual components, suggesting that consciousness might emerge from physical processes in ways we do not yet fully understand. This leads to intriguing discussions about whether consciousness is simply an advanced form of physical organization, or if it possesses unique qualities that cannot be reduced to physical explanations. Philosophers like David Chalmers have introduced ideas such as the hard problem of consciousness, which argues that even if we understand all the physical processes in the brain, we still struggle to explain why and how subjective experiences arise. This brings forth questions about the qualitative aspects of experiences, known as qualia, and whether they can truly be captured by a purely physical description of reality, thus challenging physicalism and reigniting dualist perspectives. Moreover, the implications of these viewpoints extend beyond mere philosophy. They have profound consequences for fields such as psychology, artificial intelligence, and even ethics. For instance, if we consider the mind as separate from the body, it raises questions about the self. Awareness is a fascinating topic that has intrigued philosophers, psychologists, and scientists for centuries, and various theories have emerged to explain how and why we become aware of ourselves. One prominent theory is the developmental perspective, which suggests that self-awareness develops in stages, starting in infancy. According to this view, children begin by recognizing themselves in mirrors around the age of 2, a milestone that signifies the beginning of self-awareness. This developmental approach posits that as children grow, they increasingly understand their thoughts, emotions, and distinct identities, ultimately leading to more sophisticated self-reflection in adolescence and adulthood. Another influential theory is the social perspective, which emphasizes the role of social interactions in shaping self-awareness. According to this theory, we become what we do, aware of ourselves through our interactions with others, as we receive feedback and learn about societal norms, expectations, and values. This perspective suggests that our self-concept is heavily influenced by how others perceive us, highlighting the importance of relationships and social contexts in our understanding of ourselves. This means that our self-awareness is not just an individual experience, but rather a social one, shaped by the people and environments around us. Cognitive theories also play a significant role in understanding self-awareness, focusing on the mental processes involved in self-reflection. Scholars in this field have explored how individuals use cognitive strategies, such as introspection, to analyze their thoughts and feelings. One key aspect of cognitive theories is the idea of metacognition, which is the awareness and understanding of one's own thought processes. This concept suggests that self-awareness involves not only recognizing one's emotions, but also understanding how and why we think and feel in certain ways, leading to a more profound understanding of our behaviors and motivations. Additionally, the biological perspective sheds light on self-awareness by examining the neurological underpinnings of this complex phenomenon. Research has indicated that specific brain regions, such as the prefrontal cortex, play a crucial role in self-referential thinking and self-recognition. Studies using brain imaging techniques have shown that when individuals engage in self-reflection, distinct patterns of brain activity emerge, suggesting that our ability to be self-aware is closely tied to the functioning of certain neural networks. This biological viewpoint highlights that self-awareness is not just a psychological construct, but also a physiological process, rooted in our brain's structure and function. Another intriguing theory is the evolutionary perspective, which posits that self-awareness has developed as an adaptive trait. From this viewpoint, being self-aware allows individuals to navigate complex social environments, make decisions on our own. The unconscious mind, a fascinating area of psychology, is often described as the part of our mind that contains thoughts, memories, and feelings that we are not currently aware of, yet it profoundly influences our behaviors, emotions, and perceptions. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, was one of the first to delve into this enigmatic realm, proposing that the unconscious holds repressed desires and unresolved conflicts, which can manifest in dreams, slips of the tongue, or even in the way we act in our daily lives. Freud believed that understanding the unconscious could lead to greater self-awareness and personal growth, a theme that has inspired countless psychologists, therapists, and researchers since his time. But it's not just Freud who has shaped our understanding of the unconscious. Carl Jung expanded on these ideas, introducing the concept of the collective unconscious, which he described as a shared part of the unconscious that connects all humans through universal symbols and archetypes, such as the hero, the mother, or the wise old man. This notion suggests that our dreams and creative expressions can tap into these deep-seated symbols, connecting us to a larger human experience, which can be both intriguing and a little haunting, as it implies a shared psychological landscape that transcends individual experiences. Modern psychology continues to explore the unconscious, with researchers investigating how much of our decision-making and day-to-day behavior is influenced by unconscious processes. For instance, Studies in behavioral economics reveal that many choices we make are shaped by biases and heuristics, often without our conscious awareness. This can explain why we sometimes act against our better judgment, as our unconscious mind draws on past experiences and learned behaviors, leading us to make snap decisions that may not always align with our conscious goals. Furthermore, the unconscious is also essential in understanding mental health. Many therapeutic approaches aim to bring unconscious thoughts and feelings into conscious awareness, allowing individuals to process and resolve conflicts that may be causing distress. Techniques such as free association, dream analysis, and even creative arts therapies encourage individuals to explore these hidden aspects of themselves, potentially leading to healing and insight. Moreover, the relationship between the conscious and unconscious mind is complex and dynamic. While the conscious mind is in charge of our immediate thoughts and actions, the unconscious is always at work, influencing our choices and emotions in ways we might not realize. This interplay can be seen in how certain stimuli trigger memories or feelings without us even knowing why, highlighting the power of the unconscious in shaping our reality. In addition to psychology, the language plays a fascinating role in shaping consciousness, influencing how we think, perceive, and interact with the world around us. Researchers in fields like cognitive science and linguistics have long debated whether language merely reflects our thoughts or if it actively shapes them. This concept is often linked to the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, which suggests that the structure of a language can affect its speaker's worldview, meaning that the way we talk about things can influence how we think about them. For example, in cultures that have multiple words for snow, speakers might be more attuned to the various types and qualities of snow compared to those who only have one term. This implies that language does not merely serve as a communication tool, but also as a framework for understanding and categorizing our experiences. Moreover, language is essential in forming our sense of self and identity. The words we choose to describe ourselves and our experiences can shape our self-perception and how we relate to others. For instance, individuals who use positive language to describe their lives may cultivate a more optimistic outlook, while those who focus on negative aspects may feel trapped in a cycle of despair. This interplay between language and identity is particularly evident in bilingual individuals, who often report different personalities depending on the language they are speaking, indicating that language can alter our emotional states and social interactions. Additionally, the role of language in consciousness extends to the way we process information and solve problems. Studies have shown that thinking in a second language can lead to more rational decision-making, as the emotional weight of words might be lessened when they are not in one's native tongue. This phenomenon highlights how language can alter our cognitive processes, affecting everything from everyday decisions to complex problem-solving tasks. Furthermore, language facilitates abstract thinking and allows us to conceptualize ideas that are not immediately present. This capacity for abstraction is crucial for planning, imagining future scenarios, and engaging in creative thought, which are all fundamental aspects of human consciousness. The connection between language and consciousness also raises questions about the nature of thought itself. Some scholars argue that thought can exist independently of language, while others maintain that complex thought requires linguistic structure. This debate leads to intriguing inquiries about non-verbal forms of communication, such as gestures and visual symbols, which can also convey meaning and influence our thoughts. In cultures where storytelling is an integral part of communication, language becomes a vessel for sharing knowledge, experiences, and cultural values, further highlighting its role in collective consciousness. Ultimately, as we explore in the realm of consciousness studies, two intriguing perspectives often come into play: the phenomenal consciousness and access consciousness. Phenomenal consciousness refers to the subjective experience of being aware, the rich tapestry of sensations, emotions, and thoughts that make up our conscious life. This is the quality of experience, the what it's like aspect, which is often discussed in philosophical circles, highlighting how we perceive colors, sounds, and even the feeling of pain. It dives deep into the idea that our experiences are inherently personal and cannot be fully expressed through language alone, as they encompass the essence of our inner lives, the vividness of our experiences, which can be profoundly different from one person to another. On the other hand, access consciousness takes a different angle, focusing on the cognitive processes that allow us to utilize information, make decisions, and engage with our surroundings. This concept revolves around how certain information becomes available for reasoning, reporting, and guiding behavior. In this view, consciousness is less about the subjective feel and more about the functionality of being aware, the ability to access thoughts and memories and use them in our daily lives. It's about what we can consciously reflect upon, what we can articulate, and how we can act upon it, which makes this type of consciousness crucial for decision-making and problem-solving. The distinction between these two types of consciousness raises fascinating questions about the nature of awareness itself. Can we have phenomenal experiences without being able to access them? For instance, when we dream, we might have rich, vivid dreams filled with emotional content, yet upon waking we may struggle to access those memories or articulate them clearly. This leads to further inquiry into how our brain processes experiences, and whether all phenomenal experiences are accessible, or if some remain locked within the depths of our subconscious. Moreover, exploring these concepts can illuminate discussions in fields such as artificial intelligence. If we consider phenomenal consciousness as a unique aspect of human experience, can machines ever truly possess this subjective quality? Or will they always operate within the realm of access consciousness, processing information and making decisions, but lacking the depth of personal experience? This philosophical debate is ongoing, sparking interest not just in philosophy, but also in neuroscience and cognitive science, as researchers seek to understand the neural correlates of these two forms of consciousness. In essence, the exploration of phenomenal versus access consciousness unveils the complexity of our awareness, inviting deeper reflection on what it means to be conscious. The interplay between our subjective experiences and our cognitive non-dual awareness is a fascinating concept that has roots in various philosophical and spiritual traditions, particularly in Eastern philosophies like Advaita Vedanta and certain schools of Buddhism. At its core, non-dual awareness refers to a state of consciousness where the distinction between the observer and the observed, the subject and the object, dissolves. This means that in this state, individuals experience a sense of unity with everything around them, perceiving all things as interconnected rather than separate entities. When one enters this state, often described as pure awareness, there's a profound shift in perception, where thoughts, emotions, and sensory experiences are seen as transient phenomena that arise within this vast field of awareness, rather than as defining aspects of the self. This can lead to a deep sense of peace, acceptance, and liberation from the usual narrative of the ego, which constantly seeks identity through comparison and separation. Practitioners of meditation often strive for non-dual awareness, using various techniques to quiet the mind, such as focusing on the breath or observing thoughts without attachment. Over time, these practices can foster a greater understanding of the nature of consciousness itself, revealing the interconnectedness of all life, and the idea that our individual experiences are part of a much larger tapestry. In psychological terms, non-dual awareness can relate to states of flow, where people become so immersed in an activity that they lose track of time and self. This could be seen in artists, athletes, or anyone deeply engaged in their passions. Moreover, scientific studies have shown that practices leading to non-dual awareness can have transformative effects on mental well-being, reducing anxiety and depression, and enhancing overall life satisfaction. It's also important to note that non-dual awareness doesn't imply a denial of the physical world or our experiences within it. Instead, it invites a deeper exploration of how we relate to these experiences. The realization that separation is an illusion can encourage compassion, empathy, and a more harmonious existence with others, as we begin to see ourselves reflected in the lives of those around us. Non-dual awareness can be a challenging concept to grasp, especially in a society that often emphasizes individuality and competition. However, as more people explore this state, whether through meditation, mindfulness, or simply a shift in perspective, the potential for a more connected and peaceful world becomes increasingly possible. The journey into non-dual awareness is not only about personal transformation, but also about cultivating a sense of shared existence, where the concept of free will has fascinated philosophers, scientists, and thinkers for centuries, and the debate surrounding it continues to spark interest and discussion. Many people believe they have the ability to make choices, to determine their own paths in life. But what if this belief is merely an illusion? Research in neuroscience suggests that our brains may actually make decisions before we are consciously aware of them. For instance, studies using brain imaging techniques, such as fMRI, have shown that certain brain activity associated with decision-making occurs several seconds before a person becomes aware of their choice. This raises intriguing questions about the nature of consciousness and our understanding of agency. Determinism is another viewpoint that often comes up in these discussions. It posits that every event, including human actions, is determined by preceding events in accordance with the laws of nature. If this is true, then the choices we think we are freely making might actually be the result of an intricate web of past experiences, biological factors, and environmental influences. This perspective challenges our everyday experiences and feelings of autonomy, suggesting that our sense of making independent choices could be an elaborate construct of our minds, rather than a reflection of true freedom. Moreover, psychologists have explored how external factors like culture, upbringing, and social environment shape our decisions. For example, people raised in collectivist cultures, which emphasize community and group harmony, might approach decision-making differently than those from individualistic cultures, where personal choice is celebrated. These influences can significantly impact what we perceive as our free choices, leading to a more complex understanding of human behavior. In addition to philosophical and psychological perspectives, the realm of artificial intelligence has also prompted new questions about free will. As machines become more sophisticated, capable of learning and making decisions, we must consider their autonomy and how it relates to human free will, or is it simply following a predetermined path? Such inquiries force us to reevaluate what it means to make a choice and whether true free will exists in a world increasingly governed by technology. Furthermore, the implications of believing in free will versus determinism are significant. Studies have shown that individuals who believe in free will tend to exhibit greater levels of responsibility and moral accountability, whereas those who lean towards a deterministic view might feel less motivated to strive for personal change. This raises ethical questions about accountability in society, especially in legal contexts, where the idea, the inverted spectrum, is a fascinating philosophical thought experiment that invites us to ponder the nature of perception and consciousness. This concept raises questions about whether we can ever truly know if our experiences of the world are the same as those of others. The idea explores the relationship between our sensory experiences and the language we use to communicate them, highlighting that our understanding of reality might be fundamentally subjective. If you think about it, when we say we see the color red, how can we be sure that what we perceive as red is the same for everyone else? This thought experiment challenges our assumptions about color and perception, suggesting that there could be a vast array of experiences hidden beneath the surface of our shared language. The implications of the inverted spectrum extend beyond just color perception, as they touch on deeper issues related to identity and understanding. If two individuals perceive the world differently, how can they relate to one another? This question opens the door to discussions about empathy, communication, and the ways in which we build connections with one another. It raises an intriguing point about the trust we place in our senses and the experiences of others, as we often rely on shared definitions to navigate our social interactions. Philosophers and scientists alike have explored this topic, considering how neurological differences, such as colorblindness, might give us a glimpse into the complexities of perception. Furthermore, advancements in technology such as virtual reality and augmented reality have started to allow us to experience the world in new ways, potentially enabling us to step into another person's shoes, albeit in a limited sense. Imagine donning a VR headset that adjusts the colors you see to match someone else's perception. This could provide a unique opportunity to experience the world through another's eyes, but it also raises ethical questions about the authenticity of such experiences. Are we truly understanding someone else's reality, or are we merely simulating it? The inverted spectrum becomes a useful framework for grappling with these questions, as we attempt to navigate the complexities of human experience and understanding. In the realm of neuroscience, researchers have delved into how the brain processes color and perception, revealing that our experiences are shaped by both biological factors and environmental influences. For instance, studies have shown that cultural background can influence color perception, with different cultures using distinct color categories. This suggests that our consciousness, often viewed as a deeply personal experience, can also be understood as a social construct, shaped by the influences of culture, language, and societal interactions. This perspective suggests that our awareness of ourselves and our surroundings is not solely an internal phenomenon, but is significantly influenced by the social context in which we exist. Language, for instance, plays a crucial role in how we articulate our thoughts and feelings, shaping our understanding of ourselves and our relationships with others. The way we define and express emotions, concepts of self, and even reality itself is intricately linked to the cultural narratives we engage with from a young age. Furthermore, various cultures may have different interpretations of consciousness, leading to diverse understandings of what it means to be aware, to exist, and to connect with others. In some societies, collective consciousness is emphasized, where the community's beliefs and values significantly impact individual identities. In contrast, other cultures may prioritize individual consciousness, focusing on personal experiences and self-actualization. This interplay between personal awareness and social influences highlights how consciousness can be seen as a shared construct, where our individual experiences are colored by the norms and practices of the groups we belong to. Additionally, social interactions contribute to the development of consciousness. For instance, children learn about themselves and their emotions through interactions with caregivers and peers. These early experiences shape their self-awareness and understanding of their place within a larger social framework. As individuals navigate through life, they continuously adapt their sense of self based on feedback from their environment, further illustrating how consciousness is molded by social dynamics. Moreover, the idea of consciousness as a social construct extends into areas such as mental health, where societal attitudes towards mental illness can influence how individuals perceive their own mental states. Stigmas, support systems, and cultural narratives around mental health can either empower individuals to understand their experiences or lead them to feel isolated or misunderstood. Therefore, the lens through which we view consciousness is not only personal, but is also intricately connected to the social landscapes we inhabit. Philosophers and psychologists have long debated the nature of consciousness, and this social construct perspective adds a layer of complexity to those discussions. It challenges the notion of consciousness as a purely biological or neurological phenomenon, suggesting instead that our awareness is interwoven with the social fabric of our lives. This viewpoint invites us to consider how societal changes, technological advancements, and shifts in cultural values can reshape our understanding of consciousness itself, leading to new ways of thinking about identity, awareness. The Experience Machine is a thought experiment proposed by philosopher Robert Nozick, which challenges our understanding of pleasure, happiness, and what it means to live a fulfilled life. Imagine a machine, perfectly designed, that can provide you with any experience you desire, where you can feel joy, excitement, and fulfillment, all tailored to your preferences, without any negative consequences. You simply plug in, and the machine generates a reality so vivid and immersive that it feels just as real as the life you currently live. The idea raises intriguing questions about the nature of reality and whether experiencing pleasure in a simulated environment is equivalent to experiencing it in the real world. Nozick's argument suggests that many of us would choose not to plug into this machine, even though it could provide endless happiness, because we value authenticity and real experiences over mere sensations. This thought experiment invites deep reflection on what we truly seek in our lives. Is it happiness, or is it something more substantial, such as connection, growth, and the richness of real interactions? Additionally, the Experience Machine touches on the philosophical concept of hedonism, which posits that pleasure is the highest good. While hedonists might argue that the machine offers the ultimate form of pleasure, critics like Nozick assert that it ignores the significance of reality and genuine experiences. The thought experiment raises further dilemmas. If we can create a perfect experience, what does it mean for our understanding of reality? And does it diminish the value of our real-life struggles and achievements? Moreover, the Experience Machine also relates to contemporary discussions about virtual reality and gaming, where advancements in technology allow individuals to immerse themselves in worlds that can feel incredibly real. As we see growing interest in virtual environments, the distinction between authentic experiences and simulated ones becomes more relevant. People are increasingly engaging with digital worlds for entertainment, social interaction, and even therapy, prompting questions about the potential effects on mental health and our perceptions of reality. In exploring the implications of the Experience Machine, we also delve into ethical considerations regarding escapism and addiction. Can spending too much time in a simulated environment lead to neglect of real-life responsibilities and relationships? As society grapples with the balance between enjoying virtual experiences and maintaining a connection to the physical world, the Experience Machine serves as a powerful metaphor for the choices we face in the digital age. So, as we ponder the question of whether we would choose to plug into the Experience Machine, it invites us to think critically. The mirror test, created by psychologist Gordon Gallup in 1970, is a fascinating way to assess self-recognition in animals, and it has sparked considerable interest among researchers, educators, and animal lovers alike. This test involves placing a mark on an animal in a spot it cannot see without a mirror, such as on its forehead, then allowing the animal to look into a mirror. If the animal recognizes itself and touches the mark, it demonstrates a level of self-awareness, which is a complex cognitive ability. The test has been most famously passed by species like chimpanzees, dolphins, and elephants. But not all animals respond the same way. For example, dogs tend to react to their reflection as if it were another dog, showing that they may not possess the same level of self-awareness as some other species. Interestingly, some researchers argue that the mirror test may not be a complete measure of self-awareness, as it is culturally biased towards species that rely heavily on visual cues. This raises questions about how we define intelligence and self-recognition across different animals and environments. Some animals, such as certain birds like magpies, have also shown the ability to pass the test, which challenges our understanding of cognitive abilities beyond traditional mammals. Critics of the mirror test suggest that it might not account for different ways animals perceive their environment, as some species might rely more on smell or sound than sight. The test has inspired further studies into animal cognition, leading researchers to explore other forms of self-awareness and intelligence that might not involve mirrors at all. For instance, studies have highlighted how various species demonstrate problem-solving skills, social interactions, and even the ability to empathize, showcasing the rich tapestry of intelligence in the animal kingdom. Overall, the mirror test serves as a launching point for deeper investigations into the minds of animals, revealing the complexities of self-recognition and challenging our assumptions about what it means to be self-aware. It opens the door to understanding not just how animals see themselves, but also how they navigate their worlds, interact with others, and adapt to challenges, which is a testament to the diverse and intricate nature of life on Earth. Temporal consciousness refers to our awareness of time, how we perceive its passage, and how it shapes our experiences and understanding of the world. Humans have a unique ability to reflect on the past, anticipate the future, and live in the present moment, which sets us apart from many other species. This awareness of time influences our decisions, shapes our memories, and affects our emotional states. Studies have shown that our perception of time can be altered by various factors such as age, culture, and even technology. For instance, children often perceive time differently than adults, experiencing it as moving slowly, while adults may feel that time flies as they age. Cultural differences also play a significant role in how we experience time. Some cultures emphasize punctuality and linear time, while others may have a more fluid understanding of time, seeing it as cyclical. This can affect everything from social interactions to how we plan our daily activities. Moreover, in today's fast-paced world, technology has changed our relationship with time. With instant communication and constant access to information, many people feel pressured to multitask, leading to a sense of time slipping away. This has sparked interest in mindfulness practices, which encourage individuals to focus on the present moment, allowing them to slow down and appreciate the here and now. Research into temporal consciousness has also led to fascinating insights in neuroscience, revealing that different areas of the brain are involved in our perception of time. For example, the right parietal cortex plays a crucial role in timing tasks, while the hippocampus is important for forming memories related to temporal experiences. These insights help us understand why certain events seem to last longer in our memory than they actually did, as emotionally charged experiences tend to be recalled more vividly. Furthermore, the concept of temporal consciousness has implications for how we understand mental health. Some psychological disorders, such as depression and anxiety, can distort our perception of time, making the future seem bleak or the past feel overwhelming. Therapies that incorporate mindfulness and focus on the present can help individuals reshape their relationship with time, promoting a healthier outlook on life. In philosophy, temporal consciousness raises questions about free will and determinism. If our perception of time influences our choices, to what extent are those choices truly free? This has been a topic of debate for centuries as thinkers explore how our understanding of time interacts with our sense of self and our decision-making processes. As we delve deeper into the nature of temporal consciousness, it's clear that it is not just a simple awareness. Neurophenomenology, a fascinating interdisciplinary field, merges neuroscience with phenomenology, which is the study of conscious experience. A unique perspective on human consciousness. This approach was largely established by Francisco Varela, a Chilean biologist and philosopher, who sought to bridge the gap between the objective measurements of brain activity and the subjective qualities of individual experience, helping researchers understand how our brain processes sensations, thoughts, and emotions. By integrating the scientific rigor of neuroscience with the descriptive insights of phenomenology, neurophenomenology aims to provide a more comprehensive understanding of consciousness, focusing on how we experience the world around us. In neurophenomenology, researchers often use methods like first-person reports, where individuals describe their experiences in detail, along with third-person observations, such as brain imaging techniques, to create a richer picture of mental states. This dual approach allows scientists to not only observe what happens in the brain during various mental states, but also to appreciate the qualitative aspects of those experiences. For example, when studying meditation, researchers may analyze brain activity patterns, while also gathering personal accounts of how practitioners feel during their sessions, revealing intricate connections between neural processes and subjective experience. One of the intriguing aspects of neurophenomenology is its application in understanding altered states of consciousness, such as those induced by meditation, psychedelic substances, or profound emotional experiences. By exploring these states, researchers can gain insights into the nature of consciousness itself, asking fundamental questions about what it means to be aware and how different experiences shape our perception of reality. Moreover, neurophenomenology can contribute to various fields, including psychology, cognitive science, and even artificial intelligence, by informing models of consciousness that take into account both the biological and experiential dimensions of the mind. The implications of neurophenomenology extend to therapeutic practices as well. For instance, understanding how mindfulness and meditation affect the brain can lead to more effective mental health interventions, offering new ways to address conditions like anxiety and depression. By examining the interplay between brain activity and subjective feelings of well-being, clinicians can develop personalized approaches that promote mental health in a holistic manner. Furthermore, neurophenomenology invites philosophical discussions about the nature of reality, perception, and selfhood. It challenges the traditional separation of mind and body, suggesting that our cognitive processes cannot be fully understood without considering the lived experiences that accompany them. This perspective encourages a more integrated view of human existence, emphasizing the importance of context, culture, and individual background in shaping our conscious experiences. In summary, emotions play a crucial role in our conscious experience, shaping how we perceive and interact with the world around us, influencing our thoughts, actions, and decisions in profound ways. When we feel happy, sad, angry, or even anxious, these emotions can color our interpretation of events, affecting our memory and attention. For example, a person who is feeling excited about an upcoming event is likely to notice more positive details in their environment, whereas someone who is feeling down might overlook these same details, focusing instead on what's wrong or what could go wrong. This emotional lens can create a feedback loop, where our feelings not only influence our perceptions, but are also reinforced by what we choose to focus on. Additionally, emotions are intertwined with our decision-making processes. Research has shown that emotions can serve as a kind of internal compass, guiding us toward choices that align with our feelings and values. When faced with a tough decision, our emotional state can sway us towards one option or another, sometimes even overriding rational thought. For instance, if we are feeling optimistic, we might take risks that we would otherwise avoid, while fear can lead us to play it safe, even when the data suggests otherwise. This shows that our emotions are not just fleeting feelings but are integral to how we navigate life, providing essential information about our preferences and desires. Moreover, emotions also play a significant role in social interactions. They help us connect with others, as shared feelings can foster empathy and understanding. When we see someone smiling, our brains often respond by mirroring their happiness, creating a bond between us. Conversely, negative emotions like anger or sadness can create barriers, influencing how we engage with others. The ability to read emotions in others, known as emotional intelligence, is a vital skill in both personal and professional relationships, as it allows us to respond appropriately to the feelings of those around us, enhancing communication and cooperation. In terms of mental health, the role of emotions is equally important. Emotional regulation, which refers to our ability to manage and respond to our emotions, can significantly impact our overall well-being. Individuals who struggle with emotional regulation may experience heightened anxiety or depression, as their emotions can feel overwhelming or unmanageable. Learning to recognize and cope with emotions through techniques like mindfulness and cognitive behavioral therapy can improve not only mental health but also everyday functioning, leading to better relationships and decision-making. Furthermore, the physiological aspect of emotions cannot be overlooked. When we experience strong emotions, our bodies respond in various qualia. A term rooted in philosophical discussions refers to the subjective, the individual, experiences of perception and sensation, like the specific way one person experiences the color red, or the taste of chocolate, which may be entirely different for someone else, even if they are both looking at the same object or eating the same food. This fascinating concept raises questions about the nature of consciousness and the mind-body problem, as it highlights the differences between objective reality and personal experience. While scientists can measure the wavelength of light that corresponds to red, they cannot measure how that color feels to different individuals, which adds a layer of complexity to our understanding of perception. Philosophers, like Thomas Nagel, have famously questioned whether we can ever truly understand what it is like to be another being, emphasizing that subjective experiences, or qualia, are inherently private and inaccessible to others. This leads to discussions about the limitations of language, as words can describe experiences to some extent, but cannot fully capture the unique essence of an individual's perception. In neuroscience, researchers study qualia to explore how the brain processes sensory information, yet the exact mechanisms that translate physical stimuli into subjective experiences remain a mystery. Some scientists argue that qualia are an emergent property of brain processes, while others believe they might point to deeper, unresolved questions about consciousness and reality. The debate is ongoing, with implications for various fields, including artificial intelligence and virtual reality, as creators work to simulate human experiences. Furthermore, the exploration of qualia can also intersect with discussions on mental health, as individuals with different conditions may experience altered perceptions, which can affect their daily lives and interactions with the world. Understanding qualia could potentially lead to better treatments, as recognizing the nuances of subjective experience might enhance empathy and therapeutic approaches. When we consider the phenomenon of altered states of consciousness, such as those induced by meditation, psychedelics, or deep sleep, the richness of qualia becomes even more apparent, as individuals report profoundly different experiences that challenge conventional notions of reality. This intricate interplay between perception and reality invites us to reflect on our own experiences and how they shape our understanding of the world, ultimately encouraging a deeper appreciation for the diversity of human experience. Through the lens of qualia, we can explore the essence of what it means to be conscious, to feel, and to interact with the world, reminding us that our experiences, while rooted in physical reality, are also colored by the unique filters of our individual minds. Dreams, a fascinating aspect of our nightly experiences, have intrigued humans for centuries, And while many theories attempt to explain their nature, the truth remains complex and multifaceted. At their core, dreams occur during the rapid eye movement, or REM, stage of sleep, when brain activity is similar to that of being awake, leading to vivid imagery and intense emotions. Scientists believe that dreams may serve several purposes, including helping with memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and problem-solving. As we drift into sleep, our brains take the day's information, sorting through experiences and integrating them into our long-term memory, which is why some people wake up with insights or solutions to problems they faced while awake. Moreover, the content of dreams can vary widely, from mundane activities to bizarre scenarios that challenge our understanding of reality. And while some people experience nightmares, others find solace in the whimsical adventures of their dreams. Cultural beliefs also play a significant role in how we perceive dreams, with various societies attributing different meanings to them, viewing dreams as prophetic messages or spiritual experiences. Interestingly, the study of dreams, known as oneirology, has gained traction in recent years, leading researchers to explore how factors like stress, medication, and sleep disorders can influence dream patterns. In addition to these scientific explorations, the psychology of dreams has also captivated thinkers, with figures like Sigmund Freud proposing that dreams might reveal hidden desires and conflicts, while others like Carl Jung suggested they could offer insights into our collective unconscious. Today, modern neuroscience continues to unravel the enigma of dreams, investigating the brain's complex network during sleep, revealing that certain areas become highly active, suggesting that dreams might help us process emotions and experiences. As we ponder the nature of dreams, we also recognize the art of lucid dreaming, where individuals become aware that they are dreaming and can exert some control over the dream's narrative. Expensive percussion and probability, all-rooted story, creativity and impulse. Creativity and impulse. Death. Additionally, the field of sleep studies highlights disparities in dream recall, with some individuals remembering their dreams vividly, while others struggle to recall even the most striking images, prompting questions about the factors that influence our ability to remember our dreams. Furthermore, researchers have found that dreams can serve as a reflection of our waking lives, often manifesting our current concerns, aspirations, and anxieties, illustrating how interconnected are waking and meditation. The exploration of psychedelics and their effects on consciousness presents a fascinating intersection of science, spirituality, and psychology, as these substances have been used for centuries across various cultures for healing, ritual, and personal growth. When discussing psychedelics, substances like psilocybin, LSD, and DMT come to mind, each with distinct effects on the brain and perceptions of reality. Research has shown that psychedelics can significantly alter consciousness, leading to profound experiences that some users describe as life-changing. Studies suggest that these substances may enhance neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to adapt and reorganize itself, possibly facilitating new connections and insights. One of the most intriguing aspects of psychedelics is their ability to dissolve the ego, which is the part of our consciousness that defines our sense of self. This dissolution can lead to experiences often referred to as ego death, where individuals report feeling interconnected with the universe or experiencing a sense of oneness with all living things. This state can evoke intense feelings of peace, love, and understanding, yet it can also be disorienting or frightening, depending on the individual's mindset and environment, a phenomenon often described as set and setting. Moreover, psychedelics have shown promise in therapeutic settings, particularly in treating conditions like PTSD, depression, and anxiety. Clinical trials have demonstrated that substances like psilocybin can lead to enduring changes in mood and perspective, often helping patients confront and process emotions that have been difficult to access. The psychedelic experience can promote introspection and emotional release, allowing individuals to confront aspects of their lives they may have previously avoided, leading to healing and personal growth. Interestingly, the effects of psychedelics on consciousness can also lead to altered sensory perceptions, where colors may appear more vibrant, sounds can seem richer, and time may feel distorted. Users often report synesthesia, a blending of the senses, where they might see sounds or taste colors. This alteration in perception further emphasizes the potential of psychedelics to expand the boundaries of human consciousness, allowing individuals to experience reality in ways that are typically inaccessible in everyday life. Furthermore, research into psychedelics has sparked debates about their legal status and the implications for society. As more studies emerge highlighting their therapeutic benefits, there is a growing movement advocating for the decriminalization and responsible use of these substances. This shift raises important questions about how society views consciousness, mental health, and the nature of reality itself. Attention plays a crucial role in shaping our consciousness, acting as a spotlight that highlights certain aspects of our experiences while dimming others. This selective focus allows us to process information efficiently and to engage with the world around us in a meaningful way. When we direct our attention to a specific object, task, or thought, we enhance our awareness of it. And this enhanced awareness is what contributes to our conscious experience. For instance, think about when you're in a crowded room. You might find it difficult to hear a conversation with a friend, but if you concentrate on their voice, everything else fades into the background, revealing how attention can filter out distractions and bring certain stimuli into sharp focus. Researchers have found that attention is not just about what we choose to focus on, but also about how our brain processes that information. The brain allocates resources to different stimuli based on their relevance, importance, or novelty. This means that our conscious experience is not a passive reflection of reality, but an active construction shaped by our attentional mechanisms. In fact, some studies suggest that the brain regions involved in attention overlap significantly with those associated with conscious awareness, indicating that attention and consciousness are closely intertwined, and that our capacity to be conscious of something often depends on our ability to pay attention to it. Moreover, attention is not only about focusing on external stimuli, but also about internal thoughts and feelings. When we meditate, for instance, we practice directing our attention inward. This can lead to greater self-awareness and a deeper understanding of our own mental processes. The practice of mindfulness, which emphasizes paying attention to the present moment without judgment, has been shown to enhance our conscious experience, leading to increased clarity and a reduction in stress, as we learn to observe our thoughts without being overwhelmed by them. Interestingly, attention can also be influenced by our emotions. this emotional lens through which we view our communication, and the certificate from Glide, gas produced by the world, can shift our conscious experience significantly. Creativity and problem-solving abilities. Now, this isn't forgotten. Ages and ages, the present is the problem. The present is the problem. The present is the problem. The present, in addition, attention is subject to limitations. Our brains can only process a certain amount of information at once, which is why multitasking often leads to decreased performance. When we try to focus on multiple things simultaneously, our attention becomes divided. The relationship between consciousness and reality is a fascinating topic that has intrigued philosophers, scientists, and thinkers for centuries. At its core, consciousness refers to our awareness of ourselves and our surroundings, while reality encompasses everything that exists, whether or not we perceive it. One of the most compelling ideas in this discussion is the concept of subjective reality, which suggests that each individual's perception of reality is shaped by their unique experiences, beliefs, and emotions. This means that two people can witness the same event, yet have entirely different interpretations of what happened, influenced by their personal histories and mental states. Philosophers like Immanuel Kant have argued that our understanding of reality is mediated by our consciousness, implying that we can never truly know the world as it is, but only as we perceive it. This idea raises interesting questions about the nature of existence itself. If our consciousness plays such a vital role in shaping our reality, can we say that reality is fixed and objective, or is it fluid and ever-changing based on our awareness? The study of quantum mechanics adds another layer to this discussion, as it suggests that the act of observation can influence the behavior of particles. This phenomenon, known as the observer effect, implies that consciousness may have a fundamental role in the fabric of reality, blurring the lines between the observer and the observed. Furthermore, advances in neuroscience have shed light on how brain activity correlates with conscious experience. Researchers have discovered that specific neural patterns are associated with particular thoughts, feelings, and perceptions, suggesting that consciousness arises from complex interactions within the brain. This leads to the question of whether consciousness is merely a byproduct of neurological processes, or if it plays a more active role in shaping our experiences of reality. Some theories propose that consciousness is a fundamental aspect of the universe, akin to space and time, which opens up intriguing possibilities for understanding existence itself. The relationship between consciousness and reality also touches on the concept of collective consciousness, where shared beliefs and cultural narratives shape the way societies perceive and interact with the world. This idea suggests that our understanding of reality is not solely an individual experience, but is also influenced by the larger community, leading to a shared framework of understanding that can evolve over time. For instance, technological advancements have dramatically changed how we perceive and interact with reality, creating new dimensions of experience through virtual reality, augmented reality, and digital landscapes. As we continue to explore the depths of consciousness, questions about the nature of reality become increasingly complex. Are we simply observers in a vast vista? The temporal lobes, situated on the sides of the brain, play a crucial role in how we experience consciousness, memory, and even emotions. These lobes are involved in processing auditory information, understanding language, and forming memories, which are all essential components of our conscious experience. One fascinating aspect of the temporal lobes is their connection to the hippocampus, which is deeply involved in the formation of new memories. When every time we learn something new, the temporal lobes work hard to encode that information, allowing us to recall it later. This encoding process is not just about storing facts. It also involves the emotional context of those memories, linking feelings to experiences, which can make certain memories more vivid and easier to recall. Interestingly, damage to the temporal lobes can lead to conditions like amnesia, where individuals struggle to form new memories or recall past ones. This highlights just how integral these regions are to our sense of self, as our identities are often shaped by our memories and past experiences. In addition to memory, the temporal lobes are also involved in processing social and emotional signals, which means they help us interpret facial expressions and tone of voice, making them vital for social interactions. This processing ability is crucial for empathy and understanding others, which are fundamental aspects of human relationships. Moreover, research has shown that the temporal lobes are active during various states of consciousness, including dreaming and meditation. During these states, the brain engages differently, which can lead to altered perceptions of reality and self-awareness. For example, during deep meditation, the activity in the temporal lobes may change, leading to experiences that feel transcendent or outside of the ordinary. This can provide insights into how consciousness can vary and how our brain structure influences our subjective experiences. There are also intriguing studies that have linked temporal lobe activity to the phenomenon of déjà vu, where individuals feel as though they have experienced a situation before. This sensation may arise from the way the brain processes new information, sometimes mistakenly linking it to past experiences stored in the temporal lobes. Such occurrences can be quite mysterious, offering a glimpse into the complexities of human consciousness and memory. Furthermore, the temporal lobes are associated with various neurological conditions, such as temporal lobe epilepsy, which can lead to unusual experiences during seizures. Some individuals report vivid hallucinations or altered states of awareness during these episodes, shedding light on how the temporal lobes can influence perception and consciousness. This aspect of their function raises interesting questions about the nature of reality, and the connection between consciousness and the brain is a fascinating and complex topic, one that has intrigued scientists, philosophers, and curious minds for centuries. At its core, consciousness refers to our awareness of ourselves and the world around us, while the brain is the physical organ that processes information, controls our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and facilitates our experiences. Research in neuroscience has made significant strides in understanding how brain activity correlates with conscious experience, revealing that certain areas of the brain are particularly active when we are engaged in conscious thought, decision-making, or sensory perception. For instance, neuroimaging studies, such as functional magnetic resonance imaging, have shown that when people engage in tasks requiring attention or focus, specific regions, like the prefrontal cortex, light up with increased activity, indicating their role in our conscious processes. Moreover, the phenomenon of altered states of consciousness, which can occur during sleep, meditation, or under the influence of certain substances, offers additional insights into this relationship. During these times, brain activity can change dramatically, leading to different experiences of reality, which suggests that consciousness is not a static state, but rather a dynamic interplay with brain function. Some researchers propose that consciousness arises from the complex interactions between various neural networks, rather than being localized to a single area, which challenges traditional views of a direct one-to-one correspondence between specific brain regions and aspects of consciousness. Another intriguing aspect of this connection is the concept of the hard problem of consciousness, a term coined by philosopher David Chalmers. This issue highlights the difficulty of understanding why and how physical processes in the brain give rise to subjective experiences, such as the feeling of seeing the color red or the sensation of joy. While we can map brain activity and correlate it with behaviors and experiences, the deeper question remains: what is the nature of consciousness itself? Some theories, like integrated information theory, attempt to explain consciousness as a fundamental property of certain systems, suggesting that consciousness could emerge from the way information is processed and integrated within the brain. But these ideas are still under exploration and debate. Furthermore, studies on brain injuries and disorders, such as locked-in syndrome, or certain types of brain damage, provide compelling evidence of how closely linked our consciousness is to our brain's physical structure. In locked-in syndrome, individuals are fully aware and conscious, but unable to move or communicate verbally due to brainstem damage, highlighting that consciousness can persist even when motor functions are compromised, raising questions about the essence of self-awareness and identity. The ethical implications of consciousness theories delve into a fascinating intersection of philosophy, neuroscience, and morality, raising questions about the very nature of awareness and what it means to be sentient. As researchers explore theories surrounding consciousness, such as the integrated information theory, which posits that consciousness arises from the integration of information processed by a system, or the global workspace theory, suggesting that consciousness is a result of information being globally available within the brain, the implications of these theories on ethics become increasingly significant. For instance, if we accept that certain animals possess a degree of consciousness similar to humans, this opens up a debate on animal rights and whether they should be afforded certain legal protections, or if their treatment in various industries, such as farming or entertainment, should be reconsidered. In addition, if consciousness can be artificially created, as some theorists speculate might be possible with advanced AI, we must grapple with the moral status of such entities. Would a conscious AI have rights? Should we ensure their well-being? These questions challenge our existing frameworks of ethics and force us to think about responsibility in new ways. Furthermore, the implications also extend to issues of mental health, as understanding consciousness could lead to better treatments for disorders like depression and anxiety. Yet, it raises ethical concerns regarding the manipulation of consciousness and the potential for misuse of technologies that alter mental states. Moreover, as we consider the ethical ramifications of consciousness theories, we also encounter the notion of self-awarenessness. The ability of individuals to reflect on their own existence and experiences presents complex moral questions. For example, if self-awarenessness is linked to moral agency, then what does that mean for individuals with cognitive impairments? Are they less deserving of ethical consideration? These dilemmas highlight the importance of integrating findings from consciousness research with ethical frameworks, ensuring that our understanding of consciousness does not lead to discrimination or neglect of certain groups. Another aspect to consider is the role of consciousness in our understanding of free will. Debates surrounding determinism versus free will tie directly into how we perceive moral responsibility. If consciousness is merely a byproduct of neurobiological processes, does it diminish our accountability for actions? Conversely, if we affirm the existence of free will, we must also acknowledge that individuals have the capacity to make choices which can lead to moral praise or blame. This duality complicates our ethical landscape as we navigate the nuances of human behavior and the implications for justice systems and societal norms. In educational settings, the exploration of consciousness theories can also. Memory plays a crucial role in shaping our consciousness, influencing not only how we perceive the world around us, but also how we understand ourselves and our place within it. Our memories, both short-term and long-term, serve as the foundation of our identity, allowing us to connect past experiences with present moments. This connection creates a continuous thread of understanding as we draw upon our memories to inform our decisions, feelings, and interactions. The process of remembering is not merely a passive retrieval of information. It is an active reconstruction of experiences, colored by our emotions and the context in which we recall them. Neuroscientific studies suggest that every time we remember something, we are not just accessing a fixed memory, but rather we are reconstructing it, which means our memories can change over time. This malleability of memory is significant, as it can impact how we perceive past events, sometimes leading to distortions or even false memories. For instance, two people can witness the same event, yet their recollections can differ dramatically, influenced by their unique perspectives and emotional states. Moreover, memory and consciousness are intertwined in fascinating ways. Consciousness can be thought of as the awareness we have of ourselves and our surroundings, and much of this awareness is built upon our memories. When we recall a happy moment from our childhood, it not only brings joy, but also reinforces our sense of self, shaping our current emotional state and influencing our choices. In fact, some researchers argue that our consciousness is largely a construct of our memories. Without them, our sense of identity might dissolve, leaving us disoriented and disconnected from the world. Interestingly, the study of memory also delves into how different types of memory contribute to our conscious experience. For example, episodic memory allows us to remember specific events and experiences, while semantic memory relates to general knowledge and facts. These different types of memory interact, creating a rich tapestry of understanding that informs our daily lives. When we learn something new, it often connects to existing memories, creating a web of knowledge that enhances our consciousness. Cultural factors also play an essential role in how memory shapes consciousness. Different cultures emphasize different aspects of memory, which can affect how individuals within those cultures perceive their experiences and identities. For instance, collectivist societies may prioritize shared memories and communal experiences, fostering a sense of belonging, while individualistic cultures might emphasize personal achievements and milestones, shaping a more self-centered view of consciousness. In addition, the impact of technology on memory. The emergence of consciousness in evolution is a captivating topic that has intrigued scientists, philosophers, and curious minds alike for centuries. Consciousness, defined as the state of being aware of and able to think about one's own existence, thoughts, and surroundings, is a complex phenomenon that has evolved over millions of years. In the evolutionary timeline, consciousness is not something that appeared overnight. Rather, it developed gradually as organisms adapted to their environments and learned to navigate the challenges of survival. Early forms of life, such as single-celled organisms, exhibited basic responses to stimuli, demonstrating primitive awareness. But it wasn't until more complex organisms, like fish and amphibians, that we began to see early signs of consciousness, such as the ability to experience pain and joy, which are fundamental to survival. As mammals evolved, particularly in species like primates, we witness a remarkable leap in cognitive abilities. Primates, with their intricate social structures and need for cooperation, began to develop more sophisticated forms of communication and problem-solving abilities. This social interaction likely played a critical role in the evolution of consciousness, as it required individuals to be aware of not only their own states, but also those of others, leading to the development of empathy and theory of mind. The human brain, which is highly complex and capable of abstract thought, is a product of this evolutionary journey, allowing us to ponder our existence, question our surroundings, and reflect on past experiences. Interestingly, the emergence of consciousness is not exclusive to humans. Many animals exhibit signs of awareness and cognitive abilities. For example, dolphins demonstrate a high level of intelligence, engaging in playful behavior and showing signs of self-awareness, as evidenced by their ability to recognize themselves in mirrors. Similarly, elephants exhibit strong social bonds and display emotions like grief, which suggests a level of consciousness that allows them to feel and empathize with others. Studies have even shown that certain birds, like crows and parrots, possess remarkable problem-solving skills and the ability to use tools, indicating a form of conscious thought that we once thought was unique to humans. The evolutionary path toward consciousness raises fascinating questions about the nature of intelligence and awareness. Some researchers propose that consciousness may not be a linear progression but rather a spectrum, where various forms of awareness exist across different species. This idea challenges the notion that human consciousness is the pinnacle of evolution, suggesting instead that many creatures possess their own unique forms of awareness, adapted to their specific ecological niches. The study of animal cognition continues to reveal surprising insights. The relationship between consciousness and perception is a fascinating topic that delves into how we experience the world around us. Consciousness, often defined as our awareness of ourselves and our environment, is closely tied to perception, which refers to the process of interpreting sensory information. When we perceive something, like the color of a flower or the sound of music, our brain takes in sensory data and processes it, forming a mental representation of what we are experiencing. This is where consciousness comes into play. It allows us to become aware of those perceptions and reflect on them. Research has shown that our perception can be influenced by various factors, including attention, prior knowledge, and even our emotions. For instance, when we focus intently on a specific task, we may become less aware of other stimuli in our surroundings, demonstrating how consciousness can narrow or broaden our perceptual experience. Moreover, studies in neuroscience suggest that certain neural pathways are involved in both consciousness and perception. The brain areas responsible for processing sensory information, such as the visual or auditory cortex, also play a role in our conscious awareness of those sensations. Theories like the global workspace theory propose that consciousness arises when information is made available to various cognitive processes, allowing us to integrate and respond to our perceptions more effectively. This interplay raises intriguing questions about the nature of reality. If our perceptions are influenced by our consciousness, does that mean our experience of the world is subjective? Additionally, the phenomenon of change blindness highlights how our consciousness can shape our perception, as it demonstrates that we often miss significant changes in our environment simply because we are not consciously focused on them. This suggests that our conscious awareness is selective, filtering out information that we deem less important at that moment. Furthermore, the concept of perceptual adaptation illustrates how our consciousness can adjust to changes in our environment over time, leading to a more stable perception of reality. In philosophical discussions, the hard problem of consciousness, which questions how and why we have subjective experiences, adds another layer to this relationship. Some philosophers argue that without consciousness, perception loses its meaning, as it is our awareness that gives context and significance to what we perceive. On the other hand, others propose that perception can occur without conscious awareness, as seen in phenomena like subliminal messaging, where stimuli influence our behavior even if we do not consciously acknowledge them. This ongoing debate highlights the complexity and depth of the connection between consciousness and perception, inviting further exploration into how we interpret and understand our experiences in the world. Introspection, the process of examining one's own thoughts and feelings, plays a significant role in our understanding of consciousness, as it offers a unique window into the inner workings of the mind. By turning our attention inward, we can explore our own mental states, emotions, and beliefs, which helps us gain insights into how we perceive the world around us. This self-reflective practice has been a topic of interest among philosophers and psychologists for centuries, as it raises questions about the nature of self-awareness, subjective experience, and the relationship between the mind and the external environment. In the realm of psychology, introspection was once a primary method for studying consciousness, particularly during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when researchers like Wilhelm Wundt and Edward Titchener utilized it to analyze the components of consciousness, breaking down thoughts and feelings into their basic elements. However, as psychology evolved, the focus shifted toward observable behaviors and scientific methods, which led to a decline in introspective techniques in favor of more empirical approaches. Despite this shift, introspection remains an important tool for understanding the subjective experience of consciousness, as it allows individuals to connect their internal experiences with external stimuli, thereby offering a richer understanding of how we process information. Moreover, modern neuroscience has begun to bridge the gap between introspection and scientific inquiry, utilizing brain imaging techniques to explore how different areas of the brain are activated during introspective thought. Studies have shown that when individuals engage in self-reflection, specific neural networks become active, suggesting that there is a biological basis for our conscious experiences. This intersection of introspection and neuroscience highlights the complexity of consciousness, as it emphasizes that our internal experiences are not just subjective, but also have measurable correlates in brain activity. Additionally, introspection can enhance our emotional intelligence, allowing individuals to better understand their feelings and reactions, which plays a vital role in interpersonal relationships. By recognizing our own emotional states, we can empathize more effectively with others, leading to improved communication and stronger connections. This self-awareness, cultivated through introspection, is crucial in navigating social situations and understanding the emotional climate around us. Furthermore, the act of introspection can serve as a catalyst for personal growth and self-improvement. By reflecting on past experiences, decisions, and patterns of thought, individuals can identify areas in their lives that may need change, fostering a greater sense of agency and purpose. This journey of self-discovery often leads to increased resilience, as people learn to confront the concept of collective consciousness, a term that was popularized by the French sociologist Émile Durkheim, refers to the set of shared beliefs, ideas, and moral attitudes that operate as a unifying force within society. It's like a social glue connecting individuals through common values and experiences, creating a sense of belonging and identity among members of a group. This idea suggests that our thoughts and feelings are not just personal, but are influenced by the collective experiences of those around us, meaning that when we engage with our communities, we are also participating in a larger, shared consciousness that shapes our perceptions and action. In psychology, collective consciousness can be linked to concepts like social identity and groupthink, where individuals may prioritize group dynamics over personal beliefs, leading to a sense of conformity that can sometimes stifle individual expression. Moreover, this phenomenon can also be observed in the way culture evolves, as traditions and norms are passed down through generations, creating a rich tapestry of shared human experience that informs our understanding of the world. Interestingly, modern technology has amplified the concept of collective consciousness, especially with the rise of social media platforms, where ideas can spread rapidly, influencing public opinion and shaping societal norms in real time. This interconnectedness allows for a greater exchange of thoughts and experiences, but it also raises questions about the authenticity of individual beliefs, as people may feel pressured to align with trending ideas or popular opinions, thus blurring the lines between personal identity and collective identity. into assets. La clavitas. In the realm of spirituality and philosophy, transcending cultural boundaries, this perspective invites a fascinating exploration of how myths, dreams, and symbols connect us on a fundamental level, revealing underlying themes that resonate across different societies and epochs. The implications of collective consciousness extend into various fields including sociology, anthropology, and even politics, where the understanding of shared beliefs can influence social movements and collective action, encouraging people to rally around common goals. It emphasizes the importance of community and collaboration in driving social change, highlighting that when individuals come together, their combined efforts can lead to significant transformations within society. As we navigate an increasingly complex world, the concept of collective consciousness serves as a reminder of our interconnectedness, urging us to recognize the influence of our shared experiences while also considering the balance. The exploration of artificial intelligence, or AI, has opened up a fascinating discussion about its impact on consciousness, a topic that raises questions about the nature of thought, self-awareness, and what it truly means to be conscious. As AI technology advances, especially with the development of machine learning and neural networks, we find ourselves pondering whether machines can ever achieve a state of consciousness comparable to that of humans. Consciousness, in a philosophical sense, involves subjective experiences, awareness of one's own thoughts and feelings, and the ability to reflect on one's existence. However, AI operates on algorithms and data processing, lacking emotional depth and personal experience, which are often considered essential components of consciousness. Some researchers argue that, despite AI's capabilities in simulating human-like responses and behaviors, it fundamentally differs from human consciousness because it does not possess genuine emotions or a personal narrative. The Turing test, proposed by Alan Turing in 1950, suggests that if a machine can engage in conversation indistinguishably from a human, it can be considered intelligent. Yet, passing this test does not imply that the machine is conscious. Rather, it highlights its ability to mimic human interactions. In contrast, consciousness involves a rich inner life, which current AI lacks. Moreover, the implications of AI on human consciousness are intriguing as well. With the rise of virtual reality, augmented reality, and AI-driven social media, our perception of reality is rapidly changing. These technologies can create immersive experiences, blurring the lines between the digital and the physical world. As people increasingly engage with AI, there is concern about how these interactions might influence our own consciousness, potentially leading to altered perceptions of self and reality. Some experts warn that relying too heavily on AI for social interactions could diminish our capacity for empathy and emotional connection, as we might begin to prefer interactions with machines over those with other humans. On the other hand, there are positive perspectives on how AI could enhance our understanding of consciousness. For instance, AI can be used as a tool for cognitive research, helping scientists to model and simulate aspects of human thought processes, which could lead to deeper insights into how consciousness arises from biological systems. By studying AI and its limitations, researchers may gain a better understanding of what consciousness entails and how it develops in living organisms. Furthermore, philosophical debates surrounding AI and consciousness often reference concepts like the Chinese room argument, proposed by philosopher John Searle, which challenges the idea that a program could ever truly understand or possess consciousness. The relationship between consciousness and identity is a fascinating topic that has intrigued philosophers, scientists, and thinkers for centuries, as consciousness, which refers to our awareness of ourselves and our surroundings, plays a crucial role in forming our sense of identity. And this connection raises numerous questions about what it means to be an individual, as consciousness allows us to reflect upon our thoughts, feelings, and experiences, shaping our understanding of who we are. Many theories suggest that our identity is not a fixed entity, but rather a fluid construction influenced by various factors, such as culture, personal experiences, and social interactions, with consciousness serving as the framework through which we interpret these influences, making it possible for us to adapt and evolve over time. Some researchers argue that consciousness is what gives us continuity in our identity, allowing us to connect our past, present, and future selves as we build narratives about our lives that help us make sense of our experiences. While others propose that identity can exist independently of consciousness, especially in discussions around artificial intelligence and the philosophical implications of machines or entities that might possess a form of consciousness, yet lack a human-like identity. Moreover, the concept of self-awareness, a key aspect of consciousness, is central to understanding identity, as it enables individuals to recognize themselves as distinct beings, separate from others, and this self-recognition is often linked to the development of personal values and beliefs, which further shape our identities. While different cultures may emphasize various aspects of identity, such as individualism versus collectivism, providing insights into how consciousness interacts with social constructs. The study of altered states of consciousness, including dreams, meditation, or psychedelic experiences, also sheds light on the fluidity of identity, as people often report profound shifts in their sense of self during these states, suggesting that consciousness can expand or contract, allowing for new insights into who we are. In psychological terms, theories like Erik Erikson's stages of psychosocial development highlight how identity evolves throughout life, influenced by the interplay of consciousness and external factors, with significant life events prompting introspection and re-evaluation of one's identity. Furthermore, neuroscience has begun to unravel the biological underpinnings of consciousness, showing how brain activity correlates with our sense of self, as certain areas of the brain are linked to self-referential thought and identity processing, leading to interesting questions about the nature of identity in cases of brain injury or neurodegenerative diseases, which can alter consciousness and, consequently, one's identity. The philosophical debate surrounding personal attention plays a crucial role in shaping our conscious awareness, as it acts like a spotlight, illuminating certain aspects of our environment while leaving others in the shadows. When we focus our attention on specific stimuli, whether it's a person speaking, the rustling of leaves, or the flicker of a screen, we enhance our ability to process information related to that stimulus, making it more vivid in our conscious experience. This selective focus is essential because our brains are bombarded with an overwhelming amount of sensory information at any given moment, and without the ability to filter this influx, we would find it nearly impossible to navigate our surroundings effectively. For instance, when you're in a crowded room, you might find it challenging to hear a friend talking due to the cacophony of voices around you, but by concentrating on your friend, you can tune out others, showcasing how attention can enhance specific elements of our conscious experience. Additionally, attention is not just about what we focus on, but also about how long we can maintain that focus. Research in cognitive psychology indicates that our attention can be fleeting, often shifting from one stimulus to another, which impacts our awareness and the depth of our understanding. This shifting attention can be influenced by various factors, including emotional states, novelty of stimuli, and even our prior knowledge or expectations about what we're experiencing. For example, when we encounter something unexpected, our attention might snap to it, temporarily overriding our previous focus. This dynamic nature of attention suggests that our conscious awareness is not a static experience, but rather a fluid one, constantly shaped by the interplay between what draws our interest and how we choose to allocate our mental resources. Moreover, the relationship between attention and consciousness is intricately connected to our cognitive functions, including memory and perception. Studies have shown that when we pay attention to something, we are more likely to encode that information into our memory, allowing us to recall it later. This means that attention doesn't just enhance what we are consciously aware of in the moment, but it also plays a critical role in how we remember those experiences. For instance, if you're listening to a lecture and your attention drifts, you might miss key points that you later struggle to recall, highlighting how essential focused attention is for learning and memory retention. Interestingly, the ability to control our attention is also linked to self-regulation and emotional well-being. Being able to maintain focus, resist distractions, and redirect our attention when necessary can lead to greater success in various aspects. The debate over animal consciousness is a fascinating and complex topic that has garnered significant attention from scientists, philosophers, and ethicists alike. At its core, the discussion revolves around whether non-human animals possess a level of consciousness similar to that of humans, and what that means for how we treat them. Consciousness, in simple terms, can be understood as the state of being aware of and able to think about one's own existence, sensations, thoughts, and surroundings. While humans have long considered themselves the pinnacle of consciousness, advances in research have challenged this notion, leading to a deeper exploration of the minds of various species. Research into animal behavior has revealed surprising cognitive abilities in many animals, suggesting they experience emotions, form social bonds, and even engage in problem-solving. For instance, studies have shown that elephants display behaviors indicative of grief, such as mourning their dead, while dolphins have been observed using tools and cooperating in complex social structures. Moreover, some birds, particularly crows and parrots, exhibit remarkable intelligence, using tools, solving puzzles, and even demonstrating an understanding of cause and effect, which indicates a level of self-awareness and cognitive complexity previously attributed only to mammals. One significant turning point in this debate came from the field of neuroscience, where researchers have employed advanced imaging techniques to study animal brains. These studies have shown that many animals possess brain structures analogous to those found in humans, which are associated with consciousness and emotional processing. For example, the presence of the neocortex in mammals, which is linked to higher-order brain functions, has prompted scientists to consider the possibility that many mammals, such as primates, dogs, and even rodents, may experience a form of consciousness. Furthermore, recent research indicated that some creatures, like octopuses, exhibit complex behaviors and problem-solving skills, leading scientists to speculate about the nature of their consciousness despite their vastly different brain structures. The implications of recognizing animal consciousness extend beyond academic inquiry. They raise profound ethical questions regarding how we interact with and treat animals. If we accept that animals are conscious beings, it compels us to reconsider practices such as factory farming, animal testing, and habitat destruction. The growing field of animal ethics argues for the humane treatment of animals, advocating for their rights and recognition as sentient beings. This has led to a shift in public perception, with increasing demand for more humane practices in industries that rely on animals, as well as support for conservation efforts aimed at protecting wildlife. However, the debate is not without its controversies. Consciousness studies, a fascinating and complex field, has been gaining momentum over the past few decades, as researchers strive to unravel the mysteries of how we perceive ourselves and the world around us. As we look to the future of this discipline, we can expect to see new insights emerging from various areas, such as neuroscience, psychology, and philosophy, leading to a more comprehensive understanding of consciousness. With advancements in technology, brain imaging techniques, and computational modeling, scientists are now able to explore the brain's inner workings in ways that were previously unimaginable, allowing for more detailed investigations into the nature of conscious experience. One of the most intriguing developments in consciousness studies is the ongoing debate surrounding the nature of subjective experience, often referred to as qualia. Qualia are the individual instances of subjective, conscious experience, like the way a particular shade of blue looks or the taste of a ripe strawberry. As researchers continue to probe these phenomena, they may uncover more about how these experiences arise from neural processes, potentially leading to groundbreaking discoveries about the mind-body connection. This could also spark discussions about the implications of artificial intelligence, as we consider whether machines could ever possess consciousness in the same way humans do. Moreover, as we delve deeper into the cognitive aspects of consciousness, we may find ourselves questioning the very fabric of reality. Philosophers have long pondered the relationship between consciousness and the universe, leading to fascinating theories such as panpsychism, which suggests that consciousness could be a fundamental aspect of all matter. If this idea gains traction, it could fundamentally change our understanding of existence, blurring the lines between the physical and the mental, and prompting further exploration into the nature of reality itself. In addition to philosophical inquiries, consciousness studies have practical implications for mental health and well-being. As we learn more about the neural correlates of consciousness, we may develop better therapeutic techniques for individuals suffering from conditions like depression, anxiety, and PTSD. Emerging treatments such as psychedelic-assisted therapy have shown promise in altering consciousness and providing profound insights for those grappling with mental health challenges. Understanding the mechanisms behind these altered states could open up new avenues for healing, fostering a greater appreciation for the complexities of the human mind. Furthermore, the integration of interdisciplinary approaches will likely play a significant role in the future of consciousness studies. By combining insights from fields like cognitive science, linguistics, and even quantum physics, researchers can create a more holistic view of consciousness, potentially leading to innovative frameworks and models that better encapsulate